There is a small stream in the Western Ghats, not the kind you'll find on the map, just quietly flowing through a forest. I was exploring in this region with Dr. Girish Janne, a researcher working in the Western Ghats. I was introduced to a frog, the Kumbara night frog. This frog is active only in the night, only during the monsoon. It's not dramatic, the frog isn't louder, it only be seen in the night time. At that moment, I realized something important that was nature's call. Sometimes it wasn't, sometimes it was raining heavily, sometimes I was too early, sometimes I was too late. But the frog was not waiting for me. I'm a wildlife filmmaker and a storyteller. I was been with, I worked on film with big animals, on dramatic visuals. So when I told people I want to make a film on a small night active frog, the reaction was predictable. Why this frog? Who will watch it? Is it worth the effort? Honestly, I didn't have a convincing answer. Some ideas don't arrive loudly. They don't come with confidence or clarity. They whisper. And once you listen to them, they don't leave you alone. This frog does something unusual. The Kumbara night frog does something almost unbelievable. During breeding, the female rises almost upright, almost like it's standing. And once the eggs are laid, the male stays back and he carefully collects the mud from the stream and plasters all over the eggs. This is the only frog species in the world to do so. So when I first witnessed this behavior, I knew that this is not just a frog, it was a story. I didn't feel like a project, but I felt something I couldn't ignore it. For the next few years, I kept returning to the same stream, not once, not twice, for 6 years. Sometimes the frog wasn't there, sometimes the frog was there, sometimes the rain was too heavy, sometimes I was early. So there were days I questioned everything. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why am I investing so much time into that small frog and that too very difficult to witness? There was no funding, no guarantee, no assurance that the story can be done. Standing in that forest year after year, I slowly started realizing that I wasn't in control. That changed the way I understood creativity. Sometimes most of the ideas need clarity, speed, and some ideas don't respond to the force. They respond to the patience. During these years, I realized something important which struck deeply in my heart. The people who lived closest to the stream, who shared the space with the same frog, they have never watched the wildlife films. Not because they didn't care, because they did not have access, because the language wasn't theirs, because the format didn't understand to connect them emotionally. We were telling stories about nature, but not for the people who are living inside it. So later we realized something important. Probably this story didn't need information. Maybe it didn't need louder voice. Maybe it needed music. Because music travels where information can't. Music crosses the language barriers. So that's when we decided we'll tell this story musically. It was risky, unusual, almost unheard in the wildlife filmmaking, but it felt honest. When Kaperaga finally completed, it traveled way beyond the small stream. It reaches the audience across the world, and people celebrate its outcome. But for me, it was never the real story. The real story was lived in that quiet 6 years before anyone noticed. That's why the theme, Unwritten Threads of Thoughts, deep, feels deeply personal. When, when the small streams can carry so many stories, imagine the unwritten stories flows quietly every day around us. Because every meaningful idea begins before it is visible, before it's spoken, before it is written. We all live in such thoughts. So before you give up something on that silent thought, ask yourself, what if it's not weak? What if it's just waiting? Waiting for a long to listen for a longer. Thank you.